let's matchmake the welterweight division in the UFC after the fallout of all things Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, Part 2. Luke, Dana White spoke after that fight with reporters. MMA Junkie aggregated the quotes here, giving updates on the future of other big-name welterweights. Let's get through this, and then we can sort of map out the future. On Colby Covington, Dana said, Colby wants to fight. Colby wants to fight. He's ready to fight, and we're making plans for him here soon. He wants to fight, Luke, okay? On Jorge Masvidal, yeah, I like it, White said when asked about the idea of Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal. He said, you like it? I do. Then I like it. And then he laughed. Okay, thank you, Dana. Luke, let's break out the matchmaking machine here for 170 pounds in the sports, MMA leader. First off, we teased this earlier in the week, but I just want to ask you percentage-wise, 1 to 100, how confident are you that the Usman-Edwards trilogy is next for this division, and more importantly, should be next?
Yeah, I do. I do think it should be next. And I'm not one of these guys who's like a big automatic rematch guy, but Kamaru does deserve it for two reasons. One, his record of achievement is extraordinary. Right? We've been over it a million times of what he has done in this division, and I think that when you dethrone a guy like that, if they want the rematch in general, they should get it. And then when you add in the fact that he was winning that fight up until the very, literally, last minute, I think it calls for it. So I do think, and we've been over this a little bit on Wednesday, that they should put this fight in the UK, and I think that they will. But I'm a fan of an automatic rematch in this particular case.
I couldn't agree more. Because of the decorated past. It's why I still go to bat for DJ, even if he doesn't give a shit about he should have got the trilogy with Cejudo right then and there. Instead, he got traded, whatever, who cares? The whole point is this is the fight that's just right. It's the right one to make. It is. Okay, fluke or not a fluke, which people are sick of hearing about, it's unexpected. One guy was winning by a lot until he wasn't. I think in those situations when you're that decorated, and who was more decorated than Usman coming into this fight? Very few in the history of this damn sport, to be very fair, in his sixth attempt at defending that title. All right, so as we look at this top 10 and beyond, the fights that are already on the books is, of course, September 10th, Khamzat Chimaev, who's ranked number 3 in the division, against Nate Diaz, and the one we've talked about, Bilal Muhammad at number 5 against number 8, Sean Brady. Luke, there was some teasing that Wonderboy Thompson versus number 11, Shavkat Rakhmonov was in the works. Wonderboy ranked number 7, but I don't know if you've seen the news in the past 24 hours. Wonderboy said, nope, I turned that fight down. It makes no sense for me to fight another striker so quickly, or I'm sorry, to fight another wrestler like this. I want to fight a striker. I'm not mad at Wonderboy, by the way, for that. Luke, you?
I would have loved to have seen it just because I would have loved to have seen Rakhmonov feast, but I very much understand Wonderboy's position, yes.
I do, and he's at a point in his career, Luke, look, he's out of the title picture, right? He's going to just try to make fun fights the rest of the way, get momentum if he can. Hey, who knows? We mentioned Usman should be next. I think if it wasn't, it would be Chimaev off of the Diaz fight. Nobody can justify Masvidal in this case. You really couldn't. I mean, it'd be an absurdity. But, Luke, before we matchmake the division, would you be upset if Colby Covington, who is coming off a victory over Jorge Masvidal in a pay-per-view main event, if he got the next shot, would that upset you at all?
The next title shot?
Yes. Instead of Usman, and we let Chimaev fight Nate and then see what happens next. Would that?
Yeah,
I just want to know if
that would be absurd to me. Yes.
Okay, you're disgusted at that idea. You because that to me is Jorge. You give me Jorge, I would be disgusted at Jorge getting the title shot right here, Luke.
Yeah, he's advocating for one. I don't think it's going to work. Colby's got a better claim to it than Jorge does. I'll say that, but
yes,
either one of them I don't think would be the right choice. No.
And they're not going to wait on Chimaev here. They can get another fight out of this. So here's the deal, Luke. Let's matchmake. Usman ranked number 1, as is the case with UFC when a defending champion loses. Covington 2. You got Gilbert Burns at 4, which is an important name right now, despite coming off that loss to Chimaev where he fought his soul out. Neal at 6, Masvidal 9, Luque 10, Chiesa 12, Magny at 13. With number 7, Thompson now available on your board, and number 11, Shavkat Rakhmonov. Outside of the title fight, Luke, what's the next best fight to make here?
I'm sorry, I don't understand. For who?
Well, what do you do with that two through 6 area? That's my real question to you.
I see. Okay, let's figure this out. All right, 2 to 6. So we're assuming Edwards and Usman are going to run it back.
Yes.
Right? So then you've got Colby and Chimaev, but Chimaev's got Nate, so he's kind of on ice for the moment. You got Gilbert going to run it back, or not run it back, but run it with Jorge, so he's out.
Well, no, that's not official, Luke. That's not official here. So you could.
It's not official, but like, I'm told it's everything but they've signed the papers. Like, there's more or less a verbal agreement.
I was unaware it was that far because I don't want to limit the idea that Gilbert versus Colby isn't the perfect kind of potential.
Is that what you're angling for? I actually like that a little bit more than Gilbert versus Jorge, but I think Gilbert versus Jorge is a little bit more winnable for Gilbert if you're in that scenario, right? Well, actually, let me ask you, who would you favor? Who would you favor between Gilbert and Colby?
Still Colby, but slightly.
See, that's interesting. Plus, Colby's got this whole, thing with Jorge where he claimed, didn't he claim like a traumatic brain injury from it? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of weird shit going on there, but I think Colby's still got enough company leverage and fuel and money in the bank with the company where, no, they're not going to give him the title shot next, although I did float that possibility to you. But I think that they'll be willing to work with him here, Luke. I mean, they did the Jorge fights. It was what it was. Are you offended by that idea that I believe Colby would edge Gilbert here? Are you offended by that?
Offended? No. I just don't think it's very. I think that's a winnable fight for Gilbert for sure.
Oh, for sure. I'm just telling you where my heart. My heart will go on.
What about the idea?
Do
you think Colby accepts a fight with Geoff Neal? What do you think?
No, hell no.
Doesn't take it.
Nope. Dude, Colby is at a point, and look, what's the criticism against Colby right now? That although he fought for the title twice and fought really well both times and then, got that pay-per-view close-up, he hasn't beaten top-ranked guys in a while, Luke. I think he's going to try to just leave himself in celebrity mode right now. I mean, he has proven he can main event multiple pay-per-views. You have to believe he carries himself at a higher regard than anyone else would. He's got to look at this as I've got to get as much cash on the way out as I can. Now, eventually, inevitably, you will have to fight a hammer contender to keep your spot, but that's more when you're coming off a loss. He is coming off a win. I think he's in a very advantageous spot here, Luke. But if Burns fights Masvidal, which Dana just said, yeah, I like it, then what's the fight for Colby? What is it, Luke?
Wonder Boy?
I don't think Neal, bro.
Wonder Boy?
As what, a fight night main event, stay busy?
I mean, it's a name.
Yeah, it doesn't suck. It would matchmake okay. It would be received well as a main event, right? I mean, it'd be
like biggest troll versus biggest nice guy,
Yeah. That might be the gift that Wonder Boy's trying to get here, and he would deserve it too. These guys deserve this shit, Luke. Okay. What are you doing with Shavkat then? If Wonder Boy says no, what are you doing? Does the UFC even try Colby?
You could do Shavkat Neal or Shavkat Luque.
Okay.
Which one of those do you like the most?
Neal. Shavkat Neal would be a good fight right now because Neal has Neal has earned a big fight, and this is arguably the hardest of those big fights short of the title picture, but it also would be a high reward, dude. That'd be how does Geoff Neal crash this overall party? How about beating that guy who looks untouchable, right?
Yeah, you want some hype. Beating Luque in his last fight the way he did was pretty fucking incredible. You do that to Shavkat Rakhmonov, and buddy, you're gonna. Talk about a rebound in his career. That would be huge for him, huge, but also enormous risk because Rakhmonov is a cyborg from the year 2050, sent back in time to fuck everyone up. So there's that as well.
To close on this topic, Luke. And, to add another closure on there, Sean Brady versus Bilal Muhammad might end with me getting a tattoo. It might. Tacos and tattoos, Luke, in Philly. It might end with that.
I really hope that it does, for me as well. I'm looking forward to it.
Look, this could just be Mike Heck entertaining me and filling time on his show, Luke. Shout out to New Hampshire's Mike Heck. But as you die there, Luke, he created the scenario in which the night of Nate versus Hamzat, hey, let's say Hamzat catches COVID, and then Tony gets bumped up for the Nate-Tony pay-per-view main event. And then Diaz wins, and they're both bloody, and it's an absolute war. And Nate Diaz exits not only the UFC a hero, but he goes into a Jake Paul fight with the kind of momentum that matching him against Khamzat would never, ever create, right? I know that's like a romantic dream scenario there.
Well, I got to tell you, how romantic is it when you're like, yeah, one of these guys is going to catch a communicable disease?
Well, I don't think Mike offered COVID. That made it more risky, right? You know,
I was going to be like, that's an oddly specific thing for him to have. Like, okay, here's what's going to happen. This motherfucker's going to catch COVID. And then the gates of heaven are going to open up. Yes, under the circumstance that he's somehow out, you could do that. I don't know. I would like that better. I would like
Tony's
Tony
on that
at
card.
170. Yeah,
Tony and the Leech are on that card. They could break that shit up in a second.